We are live. Torah portion, Tazria. We are speaking about, oops, hold on. The very uncommon leprosy, as it's called in English. I don't know if that's the right term. Skin disease. And we spoke about different types of white afflictions, different shades, different things about how it becomes an actual tsaras, the skin disease, and that one would have to be, well, we didn't even get into it, sent out of the camp. We continue today with these kind of afflictions or lesions, this kind of skin disease that's on the head. Okay, till now we're speaking on the skin of the body. Now we're okay. The ish or isha, a man or a woman. It's interesting. Till now, I don't think we use the term man or woman. Until now, we use the term. Well, we used the term Adam at the beginning. And since then, I don't think we used the term man or woman. Let's use the term Adam at the beginning. Interesting to note. Okay, Rashi doesn't pick up on that. I guess it's not a question on the simple meaning of the text. Okay, ki or nega. When there will be on the skin, boy nega will be an affliction, baroish on the head, bezokin or on the beard. Rashi 29. Baroish bezokin on the scalp, the head, or on the beard. Ba kosav l'chalik. The Torah is coming to make a distinction over here. Bein nega shebemakom seir, and a place where the affliction is in a hairy part of the skin. La nega shebemakom basar, right? An affliction where there is a place of flesh. Shezeu simanei, that this is one of the afflictions in the place of the flesh discussed in the previous verses. It's sign of impurity. Miser loven is with a white hair. Mizel simano, and this one, the affliction in a hairy place, right? It's a sign of impurities. Miser tsohu is with yellowish hair. So if it's on your skin, it's about a white hair. If it's on your head or your beard, so it's about a yellowish hair, right? That's a distinction. Continuing, verse 30, and like in all of the other affliction, the kohen has to see it. Esa nega, the lesion or affliction, whatever you want to call it. Vihine, and behold, marehu omad. Its appearance is deep, mina or from the skin on the head, I guess. Ovay seir tzohu, and there is golden yellow hair, dak, that's thin. The Timo is kohen, and the kohen will pronounce him unclean as a result. Nesikhu, it is a nesik. That's what it's called, right? Taras harish, it's saras, right? This leprosy, if you will, we translate. I don't know if that's right in translation, but it's sometimes not. It's not modern day leprosy. Saras harish, it is saras of the head, or izakin, who, or of the beard. Rashi in 30. And in it's a yellowish hair, that the dark hair turned yellowish, not blonde, but yellowish, right? Neseku, it is called a nesek, kach shmoy, that's its name, shel nega, of this affliction. Shibemokum seir, it's in a place of where one has hair, it's called a nesek. 31. But when the kohen will see the nega, this lesion, hanesik, that's called nesik, v'hine, and behold, ein marehom, and it doesn't have a deep appearance, or like doesn't have a deep appearance like it's in the flesh, in the skin rather. The ser shocher, ein by, and there's no black hair. And ser shocher, ein by, but there is no black hair, right? But there isn't yellow hair. Doesn't look deep, and no, I guess
all the hair that turned yellow. Beard, his hair.
not all of it. No. Didn't say all of it. Right, but here there is this lesion. Doesn't look deeper. There's no black hair in it. I'm not clear on what that means. Well, Rashi's going to say, right? Ain by he's Kohen. The Kohen will then quarantine him kinega nesek shivas yamim, because this is a lesion of nesek for the person. In other words, he has that for 7 days. Right? Let's see Rashi in 31. Ser shocher ain by, and there's no black hair in it. Ha'im haya ser shocher, but the inference, the implication is if there was dark hair, tahar, the person would be pure. In other words, okay, it's like this. There isn't black hair. Let's say, it's over here, right? So, okay, I mean, I don't know if this is not black, but, imagine it's black, right? There isn't black. There isn't yellow. So what is it? And there is some kind of lesion. So we're not certain. Therefore, that's why he's quarantined. If it was black, then he would be quarantined, even though there's a lesion there. If it's yellow, so we already have in the previous verse that you're impure, you're tzara, that's tzaras. But this is questionable, right? Simentari, because the black hair is a sign of purity. Ben Yisakim, with the affliction in where there's hairy parts. As it says, as it will say later on, the dark hair. That's right. Okay, 32. Kayin, and the Kayin will then see as Hanega. He will see the affliction, the lesion, but Yamashvi on the 7th day after the quarantine. And behold, like Paul on Nesek, behold, it did not spread this Nesek. And there was not yellow hair. And the Nesek is not deeper than the skin. Rashi 32. Behold, the Nesek did not spread. What's the implication? That if it did spread, or there was yellowish hair, tell me, be impure. Right? That's clear. 33. So now, after 7 days, what do you do? So you have to shave. He has to shave himself. But next to the nesek, where there was questionable, right, and did spread, don't shave that. And the kohen shall have him quarantine this person for with this nesek again for 7 days. Right, we had that similarly a couple of days ago when we learned also when it came to on skin where it didn't spread, so you get quarantined the second 7 days. In other words, there's a doubt, so we gotta check it out. 33 in Rashi. Viz galach, and he shall shave himself svivus hanesik, around the nesik. So for example, if the nesik is here on the head, right? So there, that piece you have to keep, don't shave, but around it you would have to shave. Okay. And the nesik itself you don't shave. You leave 2 hairs next to it, saviv all around it. He leaves a belt of 2 hairs wide around the affliction. Why? That it should be discernible in pasa if this affliction spread. Because if it does spread, yeah, Osiris, it will go beyond those two hairs. And will come out to the shaved area. So here's the nesek. Let's say you got to leave a little black hair, two rows of it, right? And then shave from beyond that. So that way you can see clearly if it's spread beyond those two hairs. Otherwise, it's not so simple to tell. $34. The Ra Kayin. So right, gets quarantined again for another 7 days. Then the Kayin will see him as a Nesik. The Nesik, Bayemish on the seventh day, the second seventh day, like Pasa Nesik. And behold, it did not spread the Nesik, or in the skin, and its appearance of the Nesik itself, right, that didn't spread, doesn't appear deep in the skin, or and therefore it becomes purified. It becomes purified, meaning he's purified from what? What's he purified from? Taras, right? But nonetheless, he has to immerse himself in his garments to become clean, right? So he's not unclean from Taras, right? Because if he had Taras, then he'd have to go out of the encampment, but he has to go to the mikveh nonetheless, right? 35. The now, what happens after the second 7 days, right? He's purified. He goes to the mikvah, and then the nesek spreads on his skin after he's been declared clean, right? So we had similar to this also when it came on the skin. Let's see Rashi in 35. Achrei Tara. So I asked if you've been declared pure. Ainly Allah, I only know when the nesek, which spreads lachar patur after the dismissal by the kayin. Right, I know that. Second. One second. Okay, some notes here. Okay, let's see Rashi 35. So, Achri Tara, so after he's been declared pure, Ainli Ella, I know only that place that it was spread Lachar Apatur after dismissal, that therefore he would become he becomes impure, right? Menai, and where do I know? After Shavuot Rishon at the end of the first week, Shavuot Sheni, and at the end of the second week. That if it spreads, it becomes impure. Talmud Leimer, Basit Yivse. Spread, it will spread. In other words, it's a double verb, which implies the infinitive, meaning it's not limited. Interesting. Okay. 36, the coin then we'll see it. Vihine, after the second time, right, of quarantine, and he was declared actually pure, but now it spread. And indeed, behold, the nesek had spread on his skin. The kohen need not examine the golden hair; he's still considered unclean, right? Because we said that this that's on the hairy place on the head or in the beard, right? That a person will have this lesion. We said that it's because you become impure because it turned gold, right? Golden hair. But no, if it doesn't even turn gold, right? But it's spread, then it's also impure. Now, but if the appearance Amad Be'enav stood in his eyes, meaning it's remained the same, right? And then a black hair has grown. Sorry, I can't do that. Okay, I don't blame you. Now be careful who's listening in. Although we're online, so anybody can be listening in. And who's watching exactly. So the tihara, okay, and the kohen shall pronounce him clean. Right. This is Rashi made mention to this before. Okay, 37 in Rashi. Seir Shachar, dark hair, Minayin. From where do we know Afyar Ayarak that even yellow ba'adim and red hairs Yarak yellow is opposed to gold, meaning a blonde and red hair. Shane, it's all that's not yellowish are a sign of purity. Talmud Leimar, the seir and the dark hair. What is yellowish hair similar to? The savni sazohov, to the appearance of gold. Tov kamoy zohiv. Zohiv is similar to the word golden. Yeah. Or palais in Old French. Tohu v'tiara kain. The person's pure, and the kohen shall declare him pure. Ha'atame, but if impure affliction, shitara kohen, and the kohen declares him pure, lo yitar, he's not pure. So Rashi is explaining here. Yeah, I was wondering this myself. There's a redundancy here. He is pure, and the kohen shall declare him pure, right? Well, this is a sign. He just has to declare him pure. Why do you have to say that he is pure? To tell you that if the kohen declares him pure, and in fact he's not pure, it doesn't mean anything, right? He's not pure. Okay, that's why the extra wording. Okay, two more verses. V'ish v'isha lo'yiyeh ba'or v'saram ba'heres avaynais. If a man or a woman has spots on the skin of their flesh, white spots, ba'heres Rashi char barbuvarais, spots. But okay, and the kohen has to see, look at it. V'hinei ba'or v'saram, and behold, in the flesh of their skin, baharais, there's this spots, white, dim spots, kehais that are dim. Kehos means dim. Lavainais that are white. Bayheku bareach ba'ar ta'arhu. But bayhek, it's a pigmentation which is spread on the skin, and the person's clean. Rashi and 39. Chaos Levine is the dim white, she'ain loiven shalehem oz, that the whiteness is not intense, elokeh, but dim. Bahok, kamoy loiven, like a white patch, and near the basar adam, that's seen on the flesh of the red complexion. Shikarin rose, it's called roads in Old French. Mm-hmm. Because I should point raise. It's between the spots of Damdimai, so there's a redness, Kari Bahok, it's called a Bahok. Ish Adash Adshan, like a freckled person. Shebein Adash al Adash, between the freckles. Mavik Abase Beloivin Sach. The flesh shines with a gleaming whiteness. Okay. Let's see if we have something for the Rebbe over here. Hmm. So in the beginning over here, in verse 29 and 30, right, we said man or a woman, when they will have a lesion on their head or on their beard, nesekhu. So Rashi said, if you recall, the verse is coming to differentiate um, between a place between that the verse is coming to make a distinction between the affliction that's in place where there's hair, a place where it's on the flesh. On the flesh, it is that it turns white, right? Remember, black hair and it turned white hair. Here, it becomes yellow. It becomes golden, right? It's called nes, and it's called a nesik. So from the words of Rashi, it sounds that the affliction of the skin and the flesh are the same. And when it happens on the skin, it's called an affliction of the flesh of the skin. But when it's happening where there's hair, like on your head, sorry, that's right. I feel a little more concerned. It's called a nega. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Not clear on this. All right. We'll see you shortly. Bye, Tanya.